Why every time we talk about black accountability, it's white people? We always say, well, what about white people? What white people doing? White people do it. Y'all ain't talking about white people. Say. We need to rewind this thing because we too concerned with white people.
Right.
What is going on, everyone's? We are here and we are back with another episode of
Is My Point Valid?
Yes, indeed. I am yours truly, Brandon D.
And I am Camille A. Stalker.
And like we always do, we like to say thank you to everyone who rocks with us whenever we show up. We appreciate everyone who does. If you get any value, you like what you hear, make sure you hit that like, subscribe, share, because it helps us grow, and we truly appreciate it. But we're gonna do things a little bit different today. We did a video prior where we were talking about rappers and how they degrade women, promote violence, and all of these things. And we were talking about how we need to not only hold these celebrities and entertainers accountable, but we also need to hold ourselves accountable. And we got a comment in our comment section, and we want to kind of address that because he started out completely acting like a victim. But we're gonna read the comment. We're gonna get into it, and yeah. So, you want to read it? You want me to read it?
I'll read the comment. Okay, so he starts and says, the majority of what you call black culture is majority owned by white people. The majority of record labels were owned by white people. The majority of TV networks were owned by white people. The majority of movie producers were white people. That is what shaped the black culture. Black people did not create the destruction of the black community. Black people simply live in it. Because they didn't create the laws, rules, regulations, policies, or programs, they were just subjected to them. Mass incarceration of black men, mass outsourcing of manufacturing jobs that black man was working in. Also, those who ran the nation targeted black women to get abortions and get on welfare that had stipulations in it that would not help to grow a two-parent household.
All right, before you get into the solution, it's kind of digested.
That's a lot.
Because my boy.
Honestly, this is what I wrote at the top of my paper. And I told Brandon this. He didn't laugh when I said it. But laugh, okay? I see where you were trying to go, but you didn't take us there.
No, you didn't. I ain't there, homie. You say, you got to come on back to the bus station. You done left everybody behind. Because we were talking about accountability, and the first thing you start yelling about is white people.
Yeah.
Why every time we talk about black accountability, it's white people? We always say, well, what about white people? What white people doing? White people do it. Y'all ain't talking about white people. Say. We need to rewind this thing because we too concerned with white people.
Right, and because something is white owned or has white with it, does not dictate our behavior.
It don't make you do nothing.
For years, black people have fought to be musicians, authors, actors, etc. But that does not mean you had to conform to the script that was being written or the movie, the storytelling.
Y'all get paid for the stuff that y'all say and do because that's what is valued. If we stop valuing those things, they'll stop paying you to do those things. They'll stop incentivizing us to do these things. Then we can start looking at accountability. Yeah. And he listed a whole bunch of solutions, but those solutions involve...
I want to talk about because he said... destruction. He said black people did not create the destruction. Okay, black people may not have created the plan or the laws or the regulations for destruction,
but they made it clear.
But the execution of black culture has definitely been in the hands of black people. So even if somebody starts something, you can turn it around if we had years to turn something around.
It's just like when we know fraternities and sororities were established by Caucasians. You know what I'm saying? But when you say that to black people, they say, well, we reinvented it. We made it better. So why didn't we take what we had and make it better? We steadily in last place. We tearing up stuff and we blame it on white people. We sell our grandma's land and we blame it on gentrification, which is white people. We give away things, we volunteer ourselves for things, and we blame all of these things on white people when it's not white people's fault. We specifically were talking about accountability.
Right.
So we need to get to that.
And also studies show since 1933, black people have generally been arrested for homicide at 5 to 9 times the rate as white people. And since 2020, this is from Yahoo News, since 2020, more than 3/4 of all homicides have been committed with a firearm in the black community.
That's black culture right there.
Yeah. And then he talks about, he said something about mass incarceration. So is there mass incarceration because of the consequences of the government, or is it the consequences of people's actions, right? So the systems of federal, state, local, and tribal hold nearly 2 million people. So that all the conglomerate, all races, a collective is 2 million people.
Totality.
4 out of 5 people in prison or jailed are locked up for something other than drug offenses. And so what I read on a chart, when I find this chart, is that the U.S. population of blacks is 14%. But the number is 41% of blacks in correctional facilities. It's the highest out of American Indian, Latino, and
all
white.
Other nationalities.
Right. And so you look at the chart, you look at the numbers, and it's like, well, it's the highest, right? Then he talked about outsourcing of manufacturing jobs that hindered black. But not only did they hinder the black man, they hindered the white man and the Asian. And it was 70 to 80% of all manufactured products are believed to be outsourced. So they're not in America.
So he's trying to exclusively legitimize this for black people when it applied to everyone.
Right. But data shows in 2022 that 68.6% of these jobs worked were white. So a majority of, black people are not working these jobs now, but though who follows up working those jobs are blacks and Asians, represented significant proportions. But in that 68.6% were white people who do not hold higher degrees or any of that. So it's still like poverty.
Than nobody.
Right. So, yeah, those were we say these things and say with mass incarceration and prison and all these, but it's still about consequences.
And even with mass incarceration, because I heard somebody say, I know the CIA has to play the part in all the drugs and all of that there. Yes, they can put them in your hand, but they can't make you sell them. I seen another guy, he was like, back then, selling drugs was our only option. If that was the case, then everybody would have been doing it.
That's true. But the thing, when I hear people say that, and at first I used to be like, yeah, they were putting it in the black community. But then you look at, you look at these movies again, but you look at who was selling it to your mama, right? Who was selling it to your brother, right? Your And, so it was these things. Who was selling it? Who was harming who? Now, like I said, once again, somebody might put something in your hand, but it doesn't necessarily mean you have to take it and then continue the cycle of it. Who was feeding that to the community?
We were more concerned with making easy money than actually building something.
Even today, who is still feeding drugs into the community? And even if we don't talk about the black community, even in lower poverty white communities, who is feeding those people the higher white. Like you get what I'm saying? So it's not like, oh my goodness, it's just a black issue. Man, it's issues all around. But anyway, I digress. You want me to continue to read, or you got something?
Yeah, now we're going to go to these solutions that my boy plugged in.
So he goes on to say, I believe it's time for us to stop talking about the problem and implement the solution.
Hold on. How can you come up with a solution and people don't know it's a problem?
Right. We must talk. So I'm reading my note, y'all.
We have to establish
what the problem is,
that there is. First we have to establish that there is a problem.
Yes. What is the true problem?
Then we have to recognize that we have to do something about this problem. And
if people don't have the information, the truthful information, or they ignore the information and what reality is giving, then you can't change it. And so, like, I understand the need for a solution. I get it, because we want a solution to everything. But how can you implement any of those said? Well, when we get to the part when he says that, I'll have to read that. But yeah, it's very interesting.
He has solutions, but we haven't even got to that point yet.
But they're not easy fixes. The way that we could just spout them out and say, hey, yes,
do this, and
yes,
this.
It would be a wonderful thing if we could do that. But people have to be on board. Want me to continue?
All right, we're going to go on with these solutions.
All right. Well, solution number 1, anger management classes in majority black schools. Solution number...
Hold on. Say that again.
Anger management classes in majority black schools.
Okay. Hypothetically speaking, let's say children are going to school and paying attention. How are you going to get them to go to a therapy class within school when they don't even want to learn the information that is being taught regularly? How are we going to manage anger for children who don't want to manage anger? Their parents don't want to manage their anger. So that's really not a solution. There needs to be something that happens before then. But solution number 2.
Solution number 2, parenting classes in black communities.
Parenting classes? Who going to teach these classes? You going to have non-parenting parents teaching parents how to be parents? Who's going to volunteer for these classes? Sound like a solution to me. On to number 3.
Solution number 3, relationship counseling in black communities.
Relationship counseling. They ain't in no relationships. They single. They need parenting counseling because they are single parents. They don't need no relationship counseling. What relationships are they in?
But he said parenting classes.
Yeah. That's what we need. Yeah, we need those.
Parenting classes.
We need those, but we don't need no relationship classes because we don't have no I don't understand what kind of relationships he's referring to. Friendships, partnerships.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
All right. Solution number 4: job training in majority black communities.
These people don't want to go. When they going to work? I don't understand how that's a solution. Say that one more time.
Job training in majority black communities. But there are job fairs held all the time. I see them all the time. Everywhere. There are, even if you don't do like job trainings, what are the little places that you can go?
Job fairs, temp agencies. They have all kind of resources. I'm telling you, my job right now is looking for people. I'm talking about bottom of the barrel people who don't know nothing. They'll bring you in, teach you. These youngsters ain't looking for the jobs. I've preached construction, pipe fitting, plumbing to my nephews, random people in the streets, and none of them take heed to any of what I'm saying. So job training, what kind of job training? You gonna teach them how to work at McDonald's? What kind of job training? These are some very vague solutions. And for you to come in our comments as if you really have solutions is crazy, because these things, anybody could have came up with that. What are we going to do with that? If you have no discipline, then how are you going to give classes? If you have no structure, then how are you going to teach these people? There are a lot of steps before we get to his little solutions. I don't think any of these things are going to resolve anything. And a lot of people are out here talking about reparations. Throwing money at black problems, that never did anything.
Well, we'll get there. Let's do solution number 5, because it does talk about incentives. But solution number 5, community education, where the people in the community educate the children in the community. We must fortify our children's knowledge. If we don't, who will? And then he says, to make this happen, we must incentivize the people to do it, because this is America. And in America, no one does anything without an incentive. So these are solutions I believe may help. And that's where he kind of lost me. Says, in the words of old, we cannot just talk about it. We must be about it. We must not rule this nation, but we can rule our communities.
I seen a video today. I showed you the video. The guy, he was someone who lived in both the black community and the white community. And he was explaining how when he grew up in the white community, how the community helps each other without incentive. They just want to help. They want to see people doing better. They build you up. They fill you up. They give you the things that you need when you don't have. And he was also explaining in the black neighborhoods how they tend to want to shut you down. They always want something. I'll do this for you if you do this for me. I'll scratch your back if you scratch mine. There's always some kind of motive or incentive. There's always incentive in the black community. Why do I need to be incentivized to help our children learn how to read, write, and do math? Why do we need to be incentivized? The incentive is these are the children of the future. These are the people who are going to be in politics and lawyers and doctors and all of these things. These are the children that are coming up, and we need them to be education.
You know what's funny is, like, I don't know, educated. Yeah. You know what's funny is people are like, what are you doing to help the community? I
thought about that too.
We've reached out to help. And people, you know how if your parent ever swat your hand, I don't want your help, right?
That's how they do. You chop your hand right on off your wrist.
And if that feeling of like, no, I don't want you to help my child, dang, that is the most suckiest feeling in the whole wide world.
And how selfish can you be?
And you feel like, well, dang, I just really wanted to help. And then you do have this, I'm a Bible reader. I believe in Jesus. I believe in the cross, Jesus Christ crucified. I believe in that. But when I put my hand out and I said, I want to help, and my hand was slapped, man, I just closed that door, forget you. And that's like, that is, I know we should not react that way, but it is a thing of we can't help people who don't want to be helped. These children are going to school every day, and parents are not showing up the way they should. And teachers are even saying, you know what? I wash my hands of this. They're leaving jobs because of children's behavior. Children cussing, smoking.
They beating up, they jumping principals and all kind of foolishness. And parents are getting behind their kids and championing this mess. And
then you'll say, well, you're not around the right. You're not trying hard enough. Yeah, I did. I tried hard enough because I saw what I was implementing with my children. I said, ooh, this is good. Now I'm not giving up but I am going to reach people who will be like, okay, I see the value in what that she is doing. So I'm not giving up. I did give up.
We believe in each one, teach one. But if you keep slapping my hand when I try to get when I reach out to you, then we're gonna be moving on to the next.
Like I was ready to implement a whole I have the program. I know what's gonna work. It's reading, writing, and math. I know what's gonna work. I know it's gonna work because it's working with my children, and I just don't see the incentive of your child to read or to write or to do math. There should not be an incentive. Like Brandon said,
have to be.
The incentive should be, hey, if you do these things,
your children.
You could be great. You could be an electrician. You could be a plumber. You could be a pipe fitter. You know how to read that measuring tape. Like these are skills. And when grown folks, I'm not even going to blame children. When grown folks say, well, I need something for what you about to do, then that's red flag for me because, man, if my child is not doing well and I know I can't fulfill that, then I need to reach out because I know when Ava get to them high school years, I'm going to have to outsource.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to have to outsource, right? But I know this and I don't understand it.
I was thinking to myself, this is how, as a construction worker, how we contribute to society. And I was like, I got to thinking about it. And I was like, man, I've done hospitals. I've done schools. I've done data centers. I've done.
Chato Jackson said that. He said, how is your child? Can your child go around and look and say, I helped build that? And when he said that, I thought of you because we could be riding around. I worked on that right there. And we would deal with that, right?
Airports.
So it was pretty cool, to say, well, he had a hand in that.
So we're contributing to the healthcare system,
yes, the
education system, infrastructure, with the data centers, what is that? Technology. So I got my hands in a little bit of everything in this here society. And that's what I be trying to teach these little ones. Man, come over here. I be telling my nephews, man, in 2-3 years, you be making more money than your mama. Then you ain't got to worry about what she talking about. But like I say, I can reach out. That's all I can do. That's my solution. Reach out, teach you how I got to where I am. Because, there was a time when I was a nigga. I ain't no nigga no more. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So that's what I be trying to tell people. You know what I'm saying? If you need a blueprint, like my boy T.I. say, if you don't know which way to go, follow me. Straight up. And that's what I be telling them. Because I'm out here doing it, man. And I ain't trying to big myself up or nothing, but I'm literally doing it. As a black man out here in these streets, I don't make no excuses. I don't cry about no poverty. I don't cry about no racism or none of that. I do what I need to do as a grown man. And that's what I be trying to teach these youngsters. And if you come across this video and you need that in your life, some accountability to somebody like me, you feel me? I'm here for you. So just reach out. But I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here. And like always, it's love, peace, and soul. Like Soul Train, baby.